Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to the Hope Connection podcast. I'm Pastor Steve. Today, we have on the podcast, on the show, Steve and Jennifer Brabant, who have walked through the gauntlet of addiction and recovery, one of the toughest journeys that a couple would have to face. And so today, we have them on the podcast. We're going to ask them some questions and everything so they can help us see from both sides, from the spouse's side, and then also too, because Steve is a graduate of ours and actually works for us, and they can see it from his side also too. So stay tuned. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Steve, you ready?
Yeah, man. I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, hey, Steve, I'm going to start with you right here. Can you give us like a snapshot of what life looked like before Teen Challenge?
Yeah. For the most part, I mean, I had a great job. Everything was going really good. Probably the 4 or 5 years leading up to when I ended up in Teen Challenge, it was just an accumulation of things. A lot of loss. You know, my mom passed away a long time ago, but my dad passed away, and then a good friend of mine passed away. I had neck surgery. There's a whole bunch of things that just kind of happened all in one, um, like short period of time, and it was very overwhelming. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was, and I wasn't handling it well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You're in the military also.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I was in the military for 6 years, and then sold real estate for a little bit. That didn't work out well.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the opportunity to go to work out at the survival school out on Camp McCall. So
school.
I was very, very fortunate, blessed in that aspect of my life. I've always been pretty successful in all those things. So through that process, things just kind of escalated. You know, I started drinking more and more and more, and then I started drinking more for the wrong reasons. You know, with all the loss, I was not socially drinking for the wrong reasons,
Mm-hmm.
but I was drinking, by myself at night when the kids weren't around, when Jenny was in bed or whatever. But it was to get away from a lot of pain that I was experiencing just from all the loss. And it just got so overwhelming. I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Which is super difficult because I never really knew what to, I always had an answer. Some of that.
So Steve, man, don't start crying in the first part of the show. Jeez, still got 20 more minutes, man.
Yeah, I got you, man. My bad.
No, that's good. So, hey, let me ask you this question, Steve. Let me see if I can help you a little bit. Would you say the isolation and everything was the turning point for you?
Yeah, isolation was awful. I didn't have anything to turn to really. I mean, I had my wife, I had my kids,
Right.
but they weren't who I turned to. And it was just awful. I just kept feeling like I was God was pushing me away from my loved ones.
Yeah.
So
I know that you came to Teen Challenge. I was there.
Yeah.
Your good friend Buck, and all of that. We met you at the front gate. I remember that day.
Yeah.
You look much better now
Thank you.
than you did at 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You look a lot better. I remember the tension at the gate that day. And it's interesting to me because once you came in the program, what would you say, just real quickly, what would you say was like the hardest adjustment for you?
For me, being away from your family and your kids, even though I was there physically with them during the addiction, but I wasn't present. You know, I wasn't actually there like I should have been. But realizing that that's all been taken away from me, it was for the good.
Yeah.
Because I had to concentrate on some things and get my relationship with the Lord right. But that was difficult to accept. It was just really hard to try to figure out, like, what am I doing here? How did I get here?
Yeah.
I was doing so well, house, family, everybody loved, great family, everybody loves me, great job, all of that. And then I'm in a dorm room at Sandhills Adult Teen Challenge.
Right.
And the dorms aren't bad, I promise, but I just couldn't imagine how I got there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man. Nobody ever thinks that, their life has come to this point to
Yeah.
where we actually have to, ask for help.
Yeah.
And so you asked for help. You came in the
Mm-hmm.
program, and then, Jennifer, I know this. This is where you come in. Just so you know, for people listening at home, we're a low budget podcast. We only had 2 microphones, so so Jennifer doesn't have one. But we figured since she was the loudest one out of the 2, we would allow her to use my microphone on my lapel. Amen. And so, hey, so Jennifer, I want to bring you in here. So, what was it like for you as Steve was struggling with the addiction? He talked about what he went through, but how were you feeling when all this was happening?
Well, it was hard because I felt like I was single. I was a single mom. I was a wife that didn't really have a husband. I was trying to work full time, and I was trying to take care of 2 kids, and I was trying to hide Steve's problems from our boys because I wanted to protect them. So I felt like I was lying to my children about, where's dad? Where's dad going? Oh, he's going to the gas station to get a drink, a Coke, or, I would just constantly make up excuses. And then it was really hard for me when our oldest son started to catch on to what was going on. So I just felt alone and just alone. Like I didn't have a partner.
Right.
I didn't have anybody to help me.
That's good. I just want to stop and make a couple points for people at home, for wives, spouses that are home. One of the things she said that she felt like she was single, and she felt like she was doing this all by herself, and you were, and so for those at home that you're feeling these feelings, just want you to know that this is part of the process, and you're not alone. There's other wives out there. There's other spouses out there that are feeling the same way. That's why we have you in here today, Jennifer, so we can get that perspective. So let me ask you this question too. How did you hold on through all of this in the dark? I know you were hiding it from your kids and all of that, but what are some of the things you did to hold on?
Well, there were times where I didn't want to hold on.
Right.
To be honest. I felt like I was starting to lose my faith in God. I thought, why would you do this to me?
Right.
So then I was struggling with that for myself. And then, I just wanted my family together. I wanted to be the perfect little family that everybody saw from the outside.
Right.
And we even have a neighbor who would always say to me, you guys have the perfect family. And I thought, if you only knew, and that's what I wanted to keep. Like I wanted to keep that perfect family image. But that's not, it was important to me to have like the nice cars in the driveway and to have like the nice things, because to me, people saw like, oh, they're doing fine. But that wasn't. So I tried to hold on to that.
Right.
But then that didn't matter. Then I finally got to the point where I thought that's not how it's supposed to be.
Right.
I tried to just keep my family together, and I couldn't. It was out of my control. There was nothing that I could do.
And what Jennifer was experiencing, what she went through, is multiplied to infinity for women out there, spouses. I keep saying just women, so I'm so used to dealing with the men's home. I keep forgetting we have a women's home now. And so for spouses, this is something that all of them go through. We just want you to know that you're not alone. You're hearing it right from Miss Jennifer here. So Jennifer, I know when Steve came in the program, you were very upset.
Yes.
I know, matter of fact, I think one time we had an exchange where I told you that even though my name is Steve, it wasn't me.
You did.
That did it.
I was very angry.
Yes, you were very angry. You got angry at me that day. I said, hey, hold on a second. It's funny. I remember you guys were going through some, like with the house and everything. Like this was like, these are like real issues that you had to face. So in the middle of all of that, you still, because it's very easy for people to like say, I need my husband back. But she didn't do that. You didn't do that. And so you held on. And so just kind of walk us through some of that, of how you were feeling during that time.
Like after he was in the program?
Yeah, because I remember we met in the parking lot that day to have you sign like some kind of paperwork or something for him from his job. Or so I can't remember. Maybe I'm talking too much.
No.
I'm just throwing your business all out here.
No.
No, it's
Okay.
fine. It's fine because that's what people need to hear.
Yeah.
So what happened is when I dropped him off at the gate with you, I remember I was done.
Yeah.
And I told him that you could have him. He was yours. I didn't want him
Yeah.
back. I mean, and then I went and sat in the car and everybody looked at me like, aren't you going to like say bye?
Mhm.
I was done. I was ready to get into like fix it mode.
Mm.
So now I had spent years of doing things by myself with him at home. So now I knew he was in a safe place and I could handle,
Right.
I forgot what I was talking about.
We were talking about what you did while he was gone, because he left you hanging and you had to pay the bills and take care of everything.
That's right. So here
Remember, I didn't do it. All right, I'm just playing.
So I was concerned because now Steve, like you said earlier, he had a really good job.
Right.
So now he no longer has his job. So it's just me working. And I have a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
But I got into fix it mode. So I needed to get bills paid off, so I just focused on like, I'm going to get things taken care of. I got to rebudget because now I think I'm going to lose my house. I think I'm going to lose everything that I have because now Steve doesn't have a job. And I actually met with Buck. You mentioned him earlier. I sat down with Buck and he helped her and he's like, God's got you. Everything's going to be okay. And that's when I said, God doesn't have me, because if God had me, this wouldn't have happened. And he said, now we're not gonna go down that road.
Yeah.
So we sat down, we worked out some things. I met you in the parking lot. I think I was actually getting power of attorney over Steve so that I could handle everything.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I think I was mad about some forks or something. I remember it
something
was
like that.
It
It
was something. Anyhow,
let's let it go.
I wasn't really mad at you. But anyways,
I'm glad we can laugh about this now because it really wasn't funny at the time.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But anyway, those are the things that you're gonna go through. You're gonna lash out at other people because you're so mad at what's happening in your life. But anyways, I feel like I'm not answering the question.
No, you're answering, just fine.
So I met with Buck. We got all the financial things taken care of, and then somehow it just ended up being okay. I mean, it was hard, but it was actually easier for me because he was gone. So I didn't have to worry about, am I going to be up all night because he's out drinking and driving and he's going to kill himself or somebody else.
That's a great point.
I didn't have to worry about hiding things from the boys,
And this is good too, because during my next question was going to be, as far as your marriage goes, how did you keep it together while you were in the program? And that's how you did it.
Yeah.
One, you were willing to, I'll use the word, make him stay. He can't leave. I don't remember if you were ever like trying to leave a lot.
No, not. I mean, I always wanted to.
Yeah.
But I knew that in my mind, I knew that if I was going to have any relationship with my kids or any chance in salvaging my marriage, it had to be there.
Yeah. And that's good too, because I want to segue into, now you're further along in the program and like you start to see changes. You start to see things that are different in him where it's changing. Yeah. And that's the beauty of what we do. Excuse me. Now I'm crying. That's the beauty of what we do at Teen Challenge. We want to see marriages restored. We want to see things reconciled and come back, and we want to see, we want to see the Lord prevail in a marriage, and He will. And but you have to show some tough love on the spouse side, and not allow the other spouse, to leave, and He's going to stick with it. And so, Steve, you stuck with it through this whole process, and I know, all that's not that easy, but like, what would you say to someone that's in the program?
Mm-hmm.
I know they won't be able to watch this podcast,
right?
But they're in a program, they're getting help. Because for a man, when you see your wife struggling out there, as a man, we want to fix it.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's hard for a man to see that in his wife, especially once you start cleaning yourself up and all of that. And then you start to see that the first thing a man wants to do, because God made us that way, we want to go fix it and everything. So I want to fast forward to, So Steve graduates the program. You graduate the program, and then you're faced with another decision because you have a very well-paying job with the DoD, government, whatever. You have basically six-figure job, but you feel the Lord is calling you to be in the ministry. And I mean, I already know the answer to this question. I just want to ask it for the listeners. Walk me through like the situation with your sons. You know, we just talked about this the other day.
Back up a little bit with that. So when I originally broke contact with my old employer, I gave him my letter of resignation.
Yeah.
Like I didn't plan on going back. So we were planning on, I didn't know what I was going to do. There's one point in time I was in Kannapolis, and I remember telling Jenny, like, well, what do you think? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. But I'm like, what do you think about me maybe doing an internship or something like that? And she's like, absolutely not. You're not going to do that. You need to come home when you finish and you need to make money because we have bills that need to be paid. I'm like, all right, Lord, well, that's not in the cards, you know? And then my next phone call, she's like, you know what? I think you should stay there and do an internship. And I'm like, dude, that's God.
Yeah.
It's the only way to convince that woman over there for me to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What did your kids tell you?
So later on down the road, you know, and I end up staying and doing all that stuff. Still don't know what's up with the job or anything, but they do finally get back with me and have no idea how. But they're like, yeah, we're ready for you to come back out to see her. You know, when can you come back? Your job's here waiting for you. And I'm like, this is crazy. And so I'm like, well, I'm not going to do what I did before and just make the decision on my own. You know, that would be very selfish of me. And I wanted to include them in on everything. And I was like, man, I talked to Jenny and she was, you know, I pretty much knew she wanted me to stay, but there's a lot of money involved in that, you know, and making a decision like that. But when we talked to the boys, they were like, no, you stay, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good right there. Good job, Chris and Tony. Yeah, that's good. So, hey, listen, this is great stuff right here. Hey, so Jennifer, so now that like as a couple, how has God used this journey to strengthen your marriage through all of this and your faith?
Well, I mean, I got it. I mean, it's all, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm emotional, but man, it totally has changed so many things. You know, the way I go about my day every day, the way I think, you know, the way I approach conversations, the way I approach my wife in conversations, what I include her in, the kids, everything is different. It's totally different because God's a big part of it now. You know, I don't wake up in the morning and think like, man, I got to figure out what I'm going to do today to drink. No, I wake up and I talk to God, you know, and that's part of my day. And then it's, you know, and it has a cascading effect. It's just positive throughout the whole house. I mean, be no doubt in your mind, has it still been hard after graduation? And even after doing an internship for 6 months, apprenticeship, then being on staff? Yeah. It doesn't, it's still hard. There's still moments where you're still building trust. And
that's good.
Yeah. And it takes a long time. Like, I didn't break all that trust overnight. You know, it didn't happen in 2 or 3 days or even in a couple months or not even in a 12-month program, you know, so it's going to take longer than a 12-month program. And it's going to take a while. I spent 12 months working on me and getting my relationship with the Lord.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Those 12 months, she was taking care of the kids. She was making sure the bills were paid. She was doing all of those things. And I would say too, kind of to go back a little bit as far as, you know, being a student and being a husband or spouse in the program. One of the hardest things is Jenny didn't want me back. She didn't.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bad thing. And I tell students this, like, no, she doesn't want me back the way I was. She doesn't. the best place I could be, the best way I could serve my family is to stay in Teen Challenge and become better and to keep working on me, because it's making her, putting her in a position where she's safe. She doesn't have to worry about me. She can do those things, but at the same time, she's not spending as much time with the Lord as I am. So don't expect her to be where you're at when you finish, 12 months at the feet of Jesus, man, because they're not going to be there.
Amen.
And it takes some time.
That's good. Hey, Jennifer, so do as far as the trust thing goes, tell us a little bit about that, how, like, it's hard.
It is.
I know I've been through this before with my wife.
It is. It's hard. So, of course, like Steve said, it was years of the trust being broken.
Right.
And then when I dropped him off with you at the gate, of course, I had no intentions of staying married to him. I actually already had a lawyer. I had paperwork in my locker at work that was just needed faxed.
Yeah.
And my dad of all people, says to me, "Pump the brakes. He is in a good place for the next year." He said, "You have a year. That is the father of your children." He said, "So we need to do our part to make sure that Steve gets better and that Steve gets healed. So he's got a year in this program where you can handle things, take care of things. And then when he comes back, we'll see how you feel." I mean, really, like, that's what, I can't imagine how hard it was for my dad to tell me to stay with a man who I honestly hated. I mean, I did. I was done. I no longer wanted to be married.
Yeah.
And my kids were to the point where they did not want a relationship with him. Tony, the youngest, not really so much, because he just kind of does Tony and was marching to the beat of his own drum.
Yep.
But Chris especially. So anyhow, Steve did the internship, and then it was hard. I mean, when he came home, of course, we were happy that he was doing better and that he was a new, restored man. But I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
At all. Like, to the point where I did not give him a debit card. I didn't give him any, like, nothing.
No, that's good.
I said, if you want money, you are going to have to ask me for money, and then you're going to have to bring me home a receipt. Because I didn't trust him.
I hope you are listening to this at home. This is beautiful.
I mean, really, like, he would go into the store and I would follow behind him because I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really bad. And it took a long time. And I mean, and now here we are. Steve graduated. What's it been?
About
3 years since you graduated, right? You were there for a year. Anyhow,
yeah.
3 or 4-ish years. I can't keep track. But anyways, I mean, and I do trust him now, but there are days, I'm not going to lie. I do have days where I do doubt him, and, like, something will come back. It'll just nothing, like, I never suspected him drinking or anything, but something would come up and I would be like, "Oh, would you buy it? Would you buy it Food Lion?" He's like, "A pack of bacon." I mean, just like little things sometimes creep in, but I feel like that's like the devil trying to sneak in and trying to say, "Oh, I'm going to put more doubt into your mind, and I'm going to help. I'm going to try to help you not gain more trust." But I mean, it's much, much better, but the trust took a long time to get back.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted you to share that for the people at home too is because this is really how it is. And so many times spouses will make the mistake when their loved one comes home and they just roll out the red carpet for them. And this is with anybody, not just your spouse. You shouldn't do that, And Steve, you made a great point. You didn't, like, get her to distrust you overnight. It was a process. And so that trust needs to be earned back again. It's good. It's healthy. It's healthy for us to do that. So we have some good stuff here today.
Yeah.
I want to thank both of you for coming on. I can't tell you what a joy this is for me to be able, knowing where you were a few years, 3 or 4 years ago, and seeing where you're at now. This is very encouraging, not just for you, but for me also. And I hope it's encouraging for you people at home. Hey, so I hope today's podcast has blessed you. Just want to let you know that God is still in the restoring business. Whew. Man, got to take a deep breath here for a second. He's still in the restoring business, and he's still putting marriages together. One important point I want to make, just for the men out there as you're listening, as I'm married to Christ and my marriage is right with him, then my marriage is right with my spouse. That's how it works. And so You want to get your marriage right? Get your marriage right. Amen. You want to get your marriage right with him because I'm married to Jesus now. Amen. And so we want to thank you for tuning in to this week's podcast. We'll see you next week, next Friday, I believe it is. And until then, this is the Hope Connection, Sandhills Adult Teen Challenge, and we're putting hope within reach.